Hello everyone, welcome, it's MyTyme here, and this is my first ever WWE Supercard video. It's on Season 2, which has now been out for a few weeks, and I am going to show you some newbie tips, okay? Now, I am not pro at this game. I joined in towards the end of Season 1, and for me this is quite good then, because it means that I'm able to join the game and start again without being like miles and miles behind like I was before. Just before we go off, as you can see here, I've played quite a few games, but I haven't paid any money, okay, into it. So all the cards I've got have been from playing, and I'm going to show you how you can improve some of your cards quicker than maybe you already do, and help you progress slightly quicker in the game. Now, if you want to look at people who have amazing decks and the top cards in the game, then I suggest that you would look at people like Oh my god, BBQ and players like that. They have some great videos, good commentary, and some good insight to the game in the top tiers. But this video is going to focus on those people who maybe are like myself, who are just coming into the game, and how you can get the most out of what the game gives you. So the first thing I'm going to teach you is how to improve your cards, or train your cards the most efficient way possible. Now, I learnt this from a completely different game, but it has the same kind of mechanics. Now, for the purpose of this, I have two Jey Usos here. They're both pro'd. They're both got identical stats, okay? Now, I will explain why they're pro'd later, but for the moment, you can see they're two identical cards. Now, for Jey Uso number 1, I'm going to click on improve and click on train. This means I sacrifice some of my cards to make him better. Now, at the top here, I have a pro Sheamus. If I scroll down slightly, I have two normal Sheamuses. Okay, so for Jey Uso, I am going to put in my pro Sheamus. I click proceed, in he goes. If you see, he's now 1 out of 20, and the blue bar is above the 0 on the 20, reasonably comfortably above it. I go back, I go to the two Sheamuses. I can make these Sheamus into a pro, the little arrow, little pro symbol in the top right corner, by clicking combine, and then yes. But I don't want to, because I want to show you what happens if I now use my two Sheamuses on my other Jey Uso. Okay, so Jey Uso's up here now because he's been trained, so his stats have improved, and the original Jey Uso is here. Now I will improve him again using my two Sheamuses, which have not been pro'd together. And here you go. He's gone up to level 1, but as you can see, the blue bar is below the 0. Now, just to confirm that, if we go back and I go to rare, you will see both of my Jey Usos are probably next to each other now, and if you check the blue bars, I click across, you can see that there is a difference. Okay, now that is a difference just from combining two common Sheamuses and putting a pro into your hero, and also your pro into your card, and also then doing it again without proing your Sheamuses before you put them in. Now, obviously, if you were then to go to your uncommon cards, which have better stats, and for example, take your two Seth Rollins, what you would go through is you would combine them, and you would do this. You would go through your cards, and any ones you could combine, you would combine before feeding them. Okay, because the same thing will happen again if I were to go back to my two rare cards, and excuse me, if I were to show you again, let's just say I carried on with my Jey Uso, which I didn't use the pro cards, and I go to train. If I pick two random uncommon cards, let's just say, it actually doesn't make any difference, but we'll just say two Kalistos for the sake of it here. He is now bang on level 3. Okay, but if I were to go to my Jey Uso, which I did the pro card on, when he was above the blue lines above the 20, and I were to improve him, and I just stick in one of those uncommon cards, say Big E, that I just made into a pro card, you will now see he is into level 3. He is not right at the beginning. So don't get me wrong, this isn't a massive deal, but all it does mean is that your cards will improve quicker, because a lot of people probably realise that from season 1 the cards take more basically more points to get to the next level. Now just to explain something here, and I can show you in exhibition. Now you move up tiers depending on a point system, so you would in effect your total of all your cards added up, and there will be tiers. So for example, now I don't know the exact tiers, but this is just for simplicity reasons to give an example. To get into super rare, you might have to have a deck above 1,000 points in total. Now if the attributes of all your superstars you picked were to come up to say 950, you might then be in say rare. Then once you hit the 1,000, you go into super rare. Okay, so this is how you go through the belts. You put better cards in, and then you increase your rank, and it allows you to potentially pull better cards. So tip number 2 for the new players here is, once you're in a rank, to put yourself either at the top of the rank or near the bottom, like I am here at super rare plus plus, because to get into super rare plus plus, for example, you might need to have over 1,000 points. Then that will mean everyone in the super rare plus must have under 1,000 points. So I have 4 people here. 3 of these people, regardless of what I think and regardless of what I see when I play them, the game is telling me that they have a weaker deck than me. Now they might have say 2 extremely bad cards in there and 4 super cards, so if those cards play they'll beat me, or they might have a balanced deck, in which case you'd assume I would win. But these 4 people, out of these 4 people, 3 of them are in a tier below me, and 1 person is potentially in my tier. Now because I'm at the bottom of the tier, I wouldn't really want to play him, because he could be at the top of the tier and then he's going to smash me to pieces. So I look to fight the super rare people. Okay, and while I'm doing that, you might look at my team and say, oh well, how come you've got this John Cena in here? You could always bring in, I don't know, say Batista, or you could bring in a better John Cena. Now unfortunately with this game, they have made it more difficult to pro your cards. Okay, and for those people who are not sure about proing a card, then let me use this John Cena as an example. Okay, so you would click on improve, and you can see he's level 15. For getting to level 15, you get to add tokens for every 5 levels onto his different attributes. Now I've already done this, so I can't show you that. What I will show you, these blue bars underneath the power, toughness, speed, charisma and the ability. Once you hit 10, you get +6. Sorry, I lie. Once you hit 20, you get +6. So they started off as +3, which once you got to 10 matches, which meant that his stats increased. And then once you complete 20 matches, his stats increase further. So as you can see here, I've got 6 from power and 3 from adding one of the tokens to him. So his base power was 161. I have increased it to 170 by using him. Now if I want to combine 2 cards, if I don't make sure that my character has played the required number of matches in each attribute, so to get a power match you have to use him when the attribute is power. Now it doesn't matter if he wins or loses, he just has to be used. Okay, so you I have now been using a John Cena in my matches to complete the requirements to make sure he has the maximum stats. Because if I go and pro him with another John Cena who is level 15 as well, and just for this I will show you, I'll swap in my other one. As you can see, I have put the tokens in slightly different places now, so his stats are slightly different from the other one. But as you can see, he's played the number of matches in all of the attributes, but, and this is what people seem to sometimes forget, there is another fifth one, which is the ability. Now the ability is when he triggers his special move. So for example, the gut wrench suplex, there's an 18% chance that it will trigger. So for me to get the maximum out of his ability, and here it's already +4, so once I get to 20 games completed, it should go to +8, which would be another 4 onto the damage. So, and I will show you compared to my other one. As you can see, he is a +22 with gut wrench suplex, but if I look at my other John Cena, where I haven't added a token to his ability, he's only +18 to his gut wrench suplex. So you can move the tokens around to try and improve certain aspects of your characters. Now, some tips are, some people will say they would add the tokens to the weaker stats to balance them out. Some will say there is no point adding any tokens to the abilities unless they're on your for example, Epic Plus cards, because the trigger rate is so low, so it's 18% here. But if you're going to be using these cards for a while, then I don't think there's anything wrong with adding some to the ability. It's completely up to you what you want to do. Now, I'm going to use the tactic of, for the majority of my cards, unless they're a completely balanced card already, not balancing them out, I'm going to focus on a couple of the attributes, and also trying to put a little bit into the ability on these smaller cards, and then I will, once the abilities trigger percents get into the 30s for the epics and stuff, then they'll be more important. But you need to make sure that your card has procced 20 times. So I am here now fighting just to do that. So I will, for example, pick Benito at the top. Now, losing doesn't matter, okay? You don't gain anything, you don't lose anything whether you win or lose a match. The only difference is you get 1 or 2 picks on the board. But we are doing this to train my card, okay? So the tactic here would be 2 ways. One, I would choose one of my tougher superstars to try and win straight away. Now, if I can go 2-0 up and then hope I get a match which I can throw, I can then throw my John Cena, or I throw my John Cena away and try and win. Now, usually the computer will put one of its better cards straight out unless it happens to be using it in a tag team or it's a diva. So for this go, I will throw out my John Cena, hoping that his gut wrench suplex procs. And for here, you can see it hasn't procced. So, done. No good for me. Now I will just try and win the last 2 matches just to make sure that I can get the win and get the 2 picks. And there you go. So I should win most matches like this. As you can see, I'm trying to improve my card, but I'm not sacrificing my win ratio. I'm still trying to win the matches. I'm just trying to do it in a slightly different way than putting out my best team. So I take my 2 picks and I go back and I repeat it again. I pick, when I'm looking for someone, I go for the belt below me, so I should have a better chance in the long run of winning. And you also want to look for people who've played a reasonable amount of games. If, for example, a guy, I'll go back, you can go back and come back in to refresh. My bad there. And you get a new line of people. If there was somebody, for example, here, these Cody's with 160 games, 60 losses. See if I can find somebody else with even a smaller ratio. Okay, maybe there's all. Well, if you've played, say for example, 500 games in total, and you're adjusting the super rare, and this person's played under half of your games, you know, or even say a third of your games, and they're almost in the same category as you, it means that a lot of their cards have either been bought or they've been fused from season 1 and they've got strong cards already. So my cards have mainly been built from playing the game and sacrificing cards into them. So if I was to play him, it was a very good chance he has 2 or 3 top cards already, and it's going to be harder for me to win. So I want to find somebody who looks like their deck has been, say Bora here, has been built from playing the game and using cards to make cards better, rather than because they've either gone out and bought packs or they have transferred over the maximum number of cards through fusion. So you do the same thing again. You come out, you will see if you can ideally go 2-0 up, so then the last game doesn't matter. But yeah, here I get 2 Diva games, 2-0 up, great. Last one, whatever it is, I throw my John Cena, and I'm just hoping that his gut wrench suplex procs. It doesn't proc, okay? But this is what you have to do, and this is the only way that you're going to get your card completely maxed out when you come to combine it, okay? So I hope that has been helpful for you guys, and as I said, if you're unsure or want any more information, please feel free to ask. I can't give you the maths into why proing up the characters first before combining them is better than doing them as 2 individuals. Obviously their stats increase and they become, for example, if they were a common card, they only have 15 levels to improve. When they get pro'd, they have 20 levels. So that's the reason why they give you more XP when you sacrifice them. But I can't give you the exact figures to what the increase is. I've just tried to show you on the cards themselves. And remember that when you are training your cards to get the required number of, for example, games played, like in here in my King of the Ring, I'm not playing this to particularly win. I will try to win, but that's not important. I've got 2 Randy Orton cards here that I am using because King of the Ring, Ring Domination, all those games will count towards fulfilling the point system. So if in here Randy Orton procs in a King of the Ring match, it will count towards his overall 20 or whatever is required procs for the Power Slam to gain its bonus. The same if it's a Charisma match, Speed match. So you can use King of the Ring to further train your cards without actually, you know, being on the game playing them. Well, thank you for watching. So hopefully that will help some of you who are new to improve your decks a bit, and I will try and get back to you in the future when some of the new features and the road to glory is here. Okay, goodbye and thank you for watching.